All right, great. And so we're live. Well, hello, parents. As you know, my name's Graham Matthews, and I run Empowered STEM. Empowered STEM is a company that we offer A-level chemistry revision courses for those students that want to earn an A star in A-level chemistry so that they can attend the medical, dental, and veterinary programs of the choice at the chosen university. So coming in today, it's wanted to go, talk to the parents of the platform today about this one. This is a really common myth. This is a common myth that we hear all the time on our very first onboarding call. When your child works with us, the very first thing we do is we have an onboarding call. And, we're talking about the strengths and the weaknesses in A-level chemistry, in terms of organic, physical, inorganic, and practicals, and the current mark book grade. And it's always the same answer to the question. We say, so how's it going? Oh, well, Graham, I mean, seriously, I got to tell you, I'm spending hours in A-level chemistry. I spend hours and hours, studying and revising and memorizing mark schemes. Oh, okay. Go on, tell us more. And, it's just that, oh, well, then when I take the test at school, it's just like all the questions, they look different. I'm just getting further and further behind. And of course, you're talking to the parents as well, and they're always saying the same thing. Well, yeah, I'm a little bit worried that, my son, my daughter, all they're doing all the time is just studying A-level chemistry. And quite honestly, it's all weekend, the study, and the late in the night, they're cramming for tests, again, really stressed, really upset. And, I think they're just going to burn out. I mean, this is not sustainable, right? And so this is when we have a conversation. And it's like, look, what's your current mark book grade now? Oh, it's a C, it's a D, it's an A, maybe it's a U. Uh-huh. And, do you really think that it's going to get better if you keep memorizing mark schemes? Well, no, I guess not, but I don't know what else to do, because for GCSE, it just seemed to be that for GCSE, yeah, what I could do is that, yeah, I mean, kind of knew what the teacher's talking about. And then at the end of the GCSEs, you got that revision book, and then, yeah, did a stack of papers, and you kind of knew what they were talking about, and you memorized what they wanted to put down. And then, yeah, I worked for GCSE. I got an 8 or a 9, but then in A level, no, it just doesn't seem to be working, and I don't know why. All right, and so what I explain it as is this: I say, look, you know what? Talk about one of the current actors. I said, have you seen that TV show, The Big Bang Theory? Oh yeah, that's hysterical, right? I mean, that's one of my favorite TV shows. I catch it on YouTube, like the outtakes of it. It's just hysterical, and what was it about? Yeah, it's about these nerdy theoretical physicists, right? And the pretty woman that lived next door, and it's just hysterical, right? No, they actually interviewed the actor Jim Parsons, and Jim Parsons, by the way, is a very, very talented actor. And they said, all that writing that is on the whiteboard in the scenes, like he's writing away, he's like solving this like really complicated problem. Yeah. Did you actually write it? No. No, he said, I didn't write. I know nothing about theoretical physics. They actually had to hire a theoretical physicist to come in. All I had to do was I put like a 2 in or something, or maybe like a Greek symbol. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, I don't know anything about that. And it's like the same thing with the lines. They said, you know what? You really sounded convincing when you said the lines. Oh, yeah, he said in the interview, it's like, yeah, but honestly, I know nothing about it. I had to memorize the lines, deeply memorize the lines, and then I could say them back and they could sound convincing. But the thing is, parents, is that if they asked Jim Parsons a question about theoretical physics, he wouldn't know what the answer was. His character, would just like crumble, wouldn't it? Just like a deck of cards, like a house of cards. It's just gone. All right. And the reason is because he didn't have an understanding of what he was saying. He could just say it back convincingly, like he was a theoretical physicist, right? So what does that have to do with A-level chemistry? What does that have to do with why doesn't it work for A-level chemistry? Now, this memorization of mark schemes. Okay, so let's debunk the idea that you can get an A-star at A-level chemistry by memorizing mark schemes, because it's not feasible, it's not logically possible, nobody can do it. Now, here we go. I did take some notes of this one, okay, parents, and I did talk about this one in the Instagram reel. All right, so here we are. Number one is your child lacks depth of understanding. Yeah, you can memorize some facts, you can memorize some figures, I'll give you that. But then on the test, those facts, the memorization of facts and the figures, they they answer the definitions questions, maybe a couple of concept questions, but no, you can't get any more marks than that, because essentially you need to go beyond memorization. You don't understand it. Now, parents then say, yeah, but Graham, hold on a minute. I thought that memorization was the basis of all education, like Aristotle, Well, yeah, I'll give you that. There is a time and a place for memorization in A-level chemistry. For example, if you want to memorize the trends of the periodic table, yeah, memorizing it is a good idea. If you want to memorize the rules for naming organic compounds, yes, memorization is a good idea. All right. If you had a blueprint on how to solve a titration problem, and you had a blueprint, like the steps that you had to take, like I do this, and then I do this, and I do this. Absolutely, totally agree that memorization for that is perfectly reasonable, valid, and it's a good educational idea. It's a good tool to use. But going beyond that, it doesn't work, because you don't understand the concept. You don't understand the mechanism. You don't understand the principle behind it. And so therefore, you kind of limited yourself at best to a C. All right. And in the biz, we call a C, well, you could have gone to medical school. I mean, you could have done it, couldn't you? I mean, you could have got the grade. C stands for could have done better, it's barely a pass, right? Now, so number one, you will like understanding of the concepts, the principles, and the mechanisms, right? Number one. Number two, it's not suitable for application-based questions, which is what A-level chemistry is all about. And so when your child, if all they're doing is like memorizing mark schemes and past paper questions, they don't understand what they're doing, then yes, what happens is this. On the test, all the teacher has to do, all the examiner has to do is to use a different compound, a different element, reword the question slightly differently, take it from a different angle, like the concept from a different angle, and everything falls apart. Okay, because your child doesn't understand the concepts, the principles, the mechanisms, and how to apply them. And if you want your child to get up to the A-star range in A-level chemistry, then they've got to be able to do these application-based questions. And quite honestly, parents, is that the exam board has now made the exam more difficult. And so now they're putting in more and more of these difficult application-based questions to kind of weed out those students that try to memorize their way to a top grade in A-level chemistry. All right. Number 3, it's only good for short-term retention. So basically, your child, they memorize all this information in their head. They go into the exam room and then they can spit it back on the paper and they hope that they got the right answer to the right question. They didn't really understand what they're doing. And as soon as they come out, studies show that the memory of all the facts and the figures, it actually begins to taper off. Okay, which means that the next test that depended on the concepts, the mechanisms, the principle being understood in the previous test, they don't have a solid foundation. What they've done is that they built the A-level chemistry knowledge on quicksand. And of course, they can't pass the current test because they didn't understand the concepts of the previous test, because we all know A-level chemistry built upon each other, right? And so the grade begins to plummet. All right. Number 4, overwhelm and mental fatigue. Yeah, parents, it's kind of like, can you imagine you've got all this content that you've got to memorize. You don't understand it. You're just going to memorize the mark schemes. You're going to do what you did at GCSE. Your child's going to do what they did at GCSE, memorize the mark schemes. And then what's going to happen is they're going to start to get what's not known as cognitive overload, which means just that. It's like they're trying to memorize so many facts, so many figures, and hopefully, they're hoping that a similar question comes up on the exam, that they just start to get burnout. And we start to see the burnout in December and the burnout in February. And we don't want that to happen to your child. Okay. Now, the last one, the 5th one, is misconnections. Because they don't understand A-level chemistry, what's happening is that now they're beginning to miss the connections between the year 12 and the year 13 topics. They're known as synoptic links. Okay. So what this means is that if your child memorizes the mark schemes for A-level chemistry using the same study techniques, the same revision skills that got them through GCSE science, it's not going to work for A-level chemistry, which means at best they've capped themselves at a C. I'm going to be completely honest with you, parents, they're not going to medical school, dental school, or veterinary programs with a C. They're not going to be a competitive candidate. All right. And so this is where we come in. All right. So like I said, at Empowered STEM, we put together revision courses for A-level chemistry students, year 12 and year 13. And what we do is that we actually teach A-level chemistry now, right? So really simple. What we do is this in all of our courses is this. Is number 1 is that we level up their understanding of the concepts in A-level chemistry. Our courses are taught by really experienced, very well qualified tutors. Okay. So number 1, the knowledge is top depth. It's like leveled up to what it should be. Right? They understand the concepts, the principles, and the mechanisms of A-level chemistry, year 12 and year 13. Second thing that we do is that we work on their exam technique, and we show them how to actually use mark schemes in the way that they were designed to be fitted into their study pattern, the revision strategy, the way that it's designed so that they can understand the mark scheme. They can then loop back in to the understanding of A-level chemistry and update everything, and then start to walk the path to an A or an A star in A-level chemistry. All right. And of course, the last thing we do, the third thing we do, is that we do give them a massive boost of motivation and confidence, because at Empowered STEM, we know, look, A-level chemistry, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Okay. It's a 2-year course. So having said that, this is the reason why your child can't memorize their way to an A star in A-level chemistry. Now, parents, if what I'm saying to you is making sense, you go, actually, Graham, you know what? That kind of makes a bit of sense. And you want to reach out to us and you want to have a conversation with us. Well, then, depending on which platform you're watching this live stream, okay, you can either DM us directly on the platform, or you can hop over to Facebook. You can send us a message. And look, a member of my team will reach out to you and we'll have a conversation with you, and we'll show you how we can quite easily, we've done this in the past with previous students, and we can do it with your child as well. We'll show you how easily using our method that you can, your child can start to walk the path to the A and the A star that they need in A-level chemistry, so that they can be competitive candidates for medical, dental, and veterinary programs at the chosen university in the UK. All right. So look, hope I answered the question for you. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.